Coffin of Earth, written by Ethan Fowler, read by yours truly. The sack bounces and twists as I'm dragged across the hard, uneven ground of our backyard. My sign language can't help me as my father throws me down the well. The puddle at the bottom did little to break my fall as I hit the cold, hard floor with a smash, knocking the wind out of me, making me gasp for air as I tear at the sack's walls before finally breaking free. I searched my surroundings, the full moon above me the only source of light, and see why the well could never be filled, as there was a large crack in the side, leading to what I can only guess abandoned mine shaft. Mum always said it was stupid for Dad to build a well in a mining town. I push and kick at the crack until finally making it big enough for me to crawl through. I step into almost complete darkness. As I wait for my eyes to adjust, I feel the wall until finally touching a hanger, filling it to the end. My heart is filled with joy as my fingers touch the top of an old oil lamp forgotten by the miners from years past. With a handful of dried moss from the well's walls for tinder, some strikes from flint and stone, and a number of swear words in sign language, I managed to light the half-full rusted oil lamp, illuminating what looks like a shrine built into the wall. For who, I cannot say. Looking closely, I see it's surrounded by dust-covered food and pieces of paper, one of which was addressed to someone called Tommy Knocker. Not knowing who Tommy Knocker is or what it has to do with these forgotten mines, I decide to walk on, searching for sunlight. As I continue, I feel a presence following me, making me feel uneasy as I hear rocks behind me being kicked, as small shadows move in the corner of my eye. Not willing to see the owner of the shadows, I pick up the pace. I hear a faint knocking from above me, like the sound trees make as wind blows through them, forcing them to bend back and forth. Convincing myself that it's an echo from further down the mine, I'm unprepared as the wooden support holding up the roof behind me begins to give way, collapsing as more earth rushes in to swallow me whole. My ears ringing from the echoes of stones hitting stones, I sprint down the hallway of earth, ignoring the pain of shards of flint flying ahead of the avalanche behind me, cutting through my rags and into my body. Entering a crossroads of tunnels, I take the tunnel next door, letting the cave-in pass and letting my body collapse as I catch my breath. As I cry from the pain, I search my surroundings. I see a sign jutting out one of the walls. Most of it was rusted over. I could only read one word: office. Praying for a source of communication to the outside world, I crawl my way over to the door with all my remaining strength. I search the room, finding nothing but a small razor blade in the desk drawer, a broken half-full lantern, and a few moth-eaten pillows sitting on crates as makeshift chairs. Turning the blade to the pillows, I cut them into strips for bandages to dress my wounds. Leaving the office looking like an Egyptian mummy, I follow the rails of the mining carts, hoping that they will lead me to the surface. Slowly limping through the corridors, with a refilled lantern in hand, I feel that once again I'm being followed as tiny footsteps mimic my own. Unsure if it's an echo, I step 3 times, but before the 4th, I stop myself. And just as I expected, the 4th step echoes throughout the mine, although my foot had yet to make contact with the ground. I lose my nerve and begin to limp faster, as a single step is joined by 100 more, a thunder of echoes as the mind vibrates with sound. I begin to sprint, wincing at the pain with every step as I desperately search for an escape. My heart is filled again with joy as I turn the corner, as the shaking of the mine had made the roof cave in, flooding the mine with sunlight. Wasting no time, I begin to climb, using tree roots and jutting out stones as my ladder, until finally reaching the surface before collapsing. my bandages struggling to hold back the blood from my now open wounds. After a moment of sobbing, I remember who awaits me at home, filling my body with rage as I climb to my feet and begin to slowly limp. My rage only grows as I get to the back gate and see my mother's freshly dug grave as the sound of scrubbing wood is heard within the house. I slowly open the back door and step in, stopping only to take the bullets out of my father's shotgun. As I walk into the kitchen, I see my father desperately scrubbing my mother's blood off the floor. He feels my presence and looks up with horror etched deep into his face as he stares at the blood-soaked bandages as all the color is drained from his face and his hands begin to tremble. I raise my hands and he recoils backwards. "I've come for you, father," I sign as I stare him down. "You can't be here," he mumbles. "You're dead," he says, getting off the ground and stepping away from me. As he widens his eyes and checks the exit, I stare at my mother's blood on the floor and then back at my father. "So are you," I sign, before charging him and beating him with everything I could get my hands on, until finally being pushed off as he rushes for the shotgun. Without pausing, he aims it at my head and pulls the trigger. Hearing nothing but a click, I rush him again, tackling him and knocking him through the back door as I continue to beat him until both he and my fists are bloody. Noticing that he's still breathing and still filled with an adrenaline, I drag him over to the well before throwing him down, feeling content that whatever still stalks those halls is still hungry.